Hello everyone, yes, I know this is one hell of a cramped up space, but we're doing high-speed water photography today. So high-speed water photography is mainly about freezing that motion of the water dead in time. So there are two main ways to do this, and one of them would be to use a flash, and the other would be no flash, but we light the scene bright enough to use a fast shutter speed to freeze the motion. So let's get started. Now the setup is actually pretty simple. Now for the first bit we would need a bucket of water, which I have right here. So also get a nice big stack of white paper. We will be needing this, and we will need one piece of acetate, transparency, whatever you call it. So basically you want to set it up like so. You want a piece of paper as the base, and you want another piece of paper adjacent to the base as the background. Now we will be shooting the light through the paper, so we'll be backlighting the whole thing. So I recommend using 70 GSM paper since it allows more transmission. So basically you lay the base on your table, your surface, and you will put one piece of acetate over that piece of paper. Now, this is mainly to save you a lot of trouble later on, because you will get a lot of water spillage on the base. So the acetate stops the paper from seeping in the water, so the paper doesn't get soggy and the color is different. So you don't have to keep on changing the base piece of paper. Now I also have a large piece of cloth on the bottom here to save some mess. And yes, be prepared for some degree of mess because we are dealing with water here. Now, how do you mount the piece of background paper? Right here. So the way I do it is by using a chair. Now this is not the best way to do it. Obviously you can just glue or blue tack that piece of paper to any surface that hangs down, but I find this the easiest way to do it. Now we'll start with the no flash setup here. So basically you take that piece of paper and you use blue tack. You want to get a glass, a small shot glass. Now basically the way to do it without a flash is pretty simple. So all you have to do is get a table lamp or any other light source that's bright enough and aim it at the back of your setup like so. So in front you have your item nicely backlit. So you will have to compensate for the exposure there. And that is pretty much it. So you will need a rather fast shutter speed. So you will need a shutter speed that is at least 1/800th of a second. So for the rest of that, you will just adjust the aperture and ISO to compensate for the exposure. Alright, so let's give it a shot. Now, take some water, and you want to capture the moment where the water just bursts into that shot glass. So my settings now are 1/800th of a second, f4, and ISO 1000. So I'll put this on manual focus, and let's try it. And looking pretty good. Let's give that one more try. Alright, so for the rest of this video, I will be using the flash method. So we're not going to be using this table lamp. Now as you can see, I've modified the setup a little bit because the flash method is much more easier to set up. Now personally, I like the flash method better, mainly because, well, you have more control over the amount of light you use, and it freezes the motion much better compared to the initial method. So the motion is frozen by the exposure of the flash that is so brief, so it freezes everything dead in its tracks, as opposed to the shutter speed method. You might still get a little bit of motion blur. So the flash method works better, and it's much more easier to set up. So all you have to do is I'm using a wireless flash here, so I'll just put the flash behind my piece of paper. Alright, just like so, nice and easy. And I will put a radio transceiver on my camera hot shoe. Alright, so let's try it out. Take some water. Alright, so sometimes I like to use a syringe. Now instead of just pouring in the water, I shoot in the water. Try experimenting with different configurations, so such as having some water already inside and then shooting more in. Now, another thing to try is to use colored water. Now this is just orange food coloring mixed in with tap water. So with some water already in the cup, you're shooting a different color of water and you will get some pretty amazing effects. Alright, so that didn't work out too well. So I also have a dump bucket here, so I just dump the failed water in. Let's give it another shot. There we have it. One more try. And lovely. Alright, so that is pretty much it, guys. So this is high-speed water photography. Basically, just use a flash, use a table lamp, and take lots and lots of shots, and then pick out your very best shots. So thank you very much for watching. I hope my video has been of help. So if you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.